Hi, everyone. Welcome again to another Mental Health on the Map yoga class for the day. As always, if there's any technical issues, you can type in the chat and let me know if the audio is not working or anything else like that. My name is Kelsey, and I am a mental health therapist in Washington State, and I'm also a yoga teacher. And so I combine the two together to move our bodies and help soothe our minds at the same time. So none of this is therapy and it's not advice, but it's all just an invitation for you to join in and try some things out, ignore what doesn't serve you, adapt what you want to adapt for your own body, and just enter into a gentle practice for today. Our theme this month for September is balance. So we're working on balancing the mind and the body, balancing our internal worlds, external worlds, and finding where it is in our life that we want more balance in general. Um, if you are at your desk for work today, you can go ahead and maybe scoot your chair back so you have a little bit more space. Find a comfortable seat, whether it's on the floor or on your chair. Take your shoes off, start wiggling your toes to bring in a little bit of movement. And we're going to go ahead and get started right away just by doing some gentle neck rolls, tucking our chin to our chest, our left ear to left shoulder, chin to the sky, right ear to right shoulder, and continuing down and around. Making these movements as slow or as fast as you want. Just beginning to tune gently into your own experience and switching directions. Noticing in your mind where you're coming in today. What thoughts are you having? What's your experience of this moment? And bringing your head up back to a neutral position. Go ahead and shrug those shoulders up. Roll them down and back, allowing your body to hunch forward just a little bit. Maybe if you're working at your computer, and shrugging those shoulders up, around, and back again. Continuing with these circular movements with your shoulders. And switching directions. Go ahead and bring your shoulders forward, up and back one last time, opening through the front side of your chest. Go ahead, you can use your arms wherever they want to be. I'm just having them up here so people on the camera can see. We're just going to begin doing some gentle wrist rolls. Waking up our bodies. Generally, when we're working, we tend to do something repetitive. Maybe it's writing or signing your signature. And so this is an opportunity to make some new movements. You can do fingers open or fingers closed. And go ahead and let your hands rest in your lap. As I mentioned today, we are focusing on balance. And so we're going to be creating an experience of balance today between the difference of self-love and self-acceptance and self-growth. So as a mental health therapist, I often hear from clients, there's kind of this internal conflict between accepting themselves and wanting to grow and wanting to be better and wanting to be healed and different from how they are. And I think especially in America where um, the culture of self-help tools has sort of been commodified, it can be really difficult to find that balance between just accepting yourself exactly as you are. There's nothing to do, there's nothing to change, there's nothing to be that is different than what you are right now. And also, we have this internal human desire to strive for something more and to reach for something more than our own experience. And so today we're going to be finding a balance between those two things where you can accept where you are and also accept the growth that you desire. Our flow today will be pretty repetitive and there will be different levels with which you can engage. And so if you're wanting to bring more balance of accepting where you are, you can stay at some of the less difficult levels. And if you're wanting that challenge and growth, then you can go ahead and try out some of the more difficult levels. For our meditation today, as always, we're going to start just by wiggling into our seats, finding our body in space right now. You might begin to feel the air on your skin. If you're inside, maybe the air conditioning. If you're outside, maybe the breeze. Maybe the feeling of your clothes on your skin. Just noticing the edges of your outside container. Notice where the seat of the ground or the earth or the chair you're sitting on rises up to meet you, holding you and supporting you. And allow yourself to sink a little bit deeper into that space with an exhale. Be a little bit heavier on the earth, a little bit heavier on that chair. You can begin to notice your own breath, the gentle rise and fall. And you can do this with your hand or with your awareness. Begin to see if you can also notice your heartbeat. Everything in today's class is an invitation. So if you want to stay here, you can focus on your own heartbeat and tuning into that part of yourself for the rest of the meditation. You can do this seated. If you're wanting more movement, you can stand up and continue this meditation standing or even walking around the room. But the invitation, no matter what you're doing with your body, is to stay connected to this place, this sense of breath and this sense of your heartbeat. In your awareness, begin to add a visualization to your heart. Maybe it's a glowing, maybe it's a shape or a color. Bring something to your mind's eye that symbolizes your heart. And allow that visual to grow and expand and begin to reach out to the world around you. Let the first thing that this visual of your heart comes in contact with be something that is so, so, so easy to love. Maybe it's an animal in your life. Maybe it's a plant. Maybe it's a memory. Something in your life that is so easy to love. And you can begin to send some love to that thing. Maybe in your mind, offering a little prayer, a little intention, a little thought. May this thing be free of suffering. May it be happy and healthy. May it be safe. And may it live in peace. Continuing this expression of our meditation, allowing this visual representation of your heart, this glowing nature, this shape, this sensation to expand even further. And this time bring to your awareness a person in your life who it's easy to send some good thoughts to. Staying connected to your heartbeat, sending some good vibes to this person, saying, may you be free of suffering. May you be happy and healthy. May you be safe. And may you live in peace. Letting this sink in for a moment. The expansion of the heart. And again, you can stay here if it feels easy to send this love. And you can also expand your awareness, maybe to a stranger this time. Sending the stranger some good thoughts, saying, may you be free of suffering. May you be happy and healthy. May you be safe. May you live in peace. Noticing your edges here. Where can the love still feel genuine? Still be connected to your heartbeat. Again, you can stay here, or you can choose to bring your awareness, this time to someone in your life who's a little challenging or a little difficult for you on a daily basis. Mm. And even to this person, sending them some good thoughts, offering, may they be free of suffering. May they be happy and healthy. May they be safe. And may they live in peace. Mm. Again, if this is new, you're welcome to stay where you are. Practice sending this love. Or you can let your heartbeat ripple throughout the whole world and all beings, all the plants, all the people, all the animals. Wishing them all that they may be free of suffering, that they may be happy and healthy, that they may be safe, and that they may live in peace. Coming back to our theme for the day, finding a balance between self-acceptance and self-growth. Sometimes the most difficult person to send some love to is ourselves. So we're going to take a moment here just to imagine a part of ourselves that's easy to love and a part of ourselves where we want a little bit more love. And staying connected to our heartbeat, offering a little bit of grace, a little bit of acceptance, a little bit of growth. Wishing ourselves that we may be free of suffering, that we may be happy and healthy, that we may be safe, and that we may live in peace. Mm. And when you're ready in your own time, as quickly or as gently or as slowly or as fastly as you want, you can release the meditation, release your hands, open your eyes, and begin some more of our movement. We're going to move through our seated flow. So I'll transition to my chair now. And again, if you are just joining us for today, we are focusing on The balance between self-love and self-growth, acceptance of what is, and that innate desire to strive for something more. So in our chairs or on the floors, we're going to begin again with these neck rolls. Slowly, gently, all the way around, tucking your chin to your chest. Left ear to left shoulder, chin to the sky, right ear to right shoulder, and all the way around. Switching directions to go the opposite way. And finding a neutral place to begin to roll your shoulders forward, up, and back. Switching to roll your shoulders forward. And doing one last one, forward, up, and back to open through the chest, and beginning to do some wrist rolls. Right now, just listening to your body, hearing how your body wants to move, how your joints are moving, if they're stiff or crunchy or flowing freely. Putting your hands down to the side, bringing your right leg out in front, and beginning just by pointing and flexing your toe. Pausing in the middle, putting your heel on the ground and tipping your toes to the right side and to the left. Bending in the right leg to straighten your left leg, and again beginning pointing and flexing your toes. Resting your heel on the floor, internally and externally rotating your left leg to knock your toes to the left and right side. Bending in the left leg, and we're going to inhale both of our arms up. Exhale, drop them down to the left side. Right arm is reaching over top, creating a crescent shape. Gaze is up through that right arm. Taking a few breaths here. We're just slowly opening the body. Inhaling both arms up, exhaling to the opposite side. Dropping your left hand down. Go ahead and inhale. Both arms up, cactus them out to the side, opening through the chest, chin lifted to the sky. Let's breathe here 3 times, making each breath bigger than the last. So just one normal, natural in and out. One more into your belly and out. And the third one into your belly and your chest. Biggest breath you've had all day. Exhale, cross your arms in front of you, giving yourself a little hug, curling forward, creating a stretch in your upper back. Coming back to a neutral spine, you're going to bring both your hands out in front of you. Draw your left hand along your right arm across your chest to the back, like you're pulling on a bowstring. Gaze is going to follow your left hand to the back. And exhaling, you're going to curl that wrist in, elbow in, sliding your left arm across your right arm. Back to meet in the front. This time opening through the right side, drawing that right arm back along your left arm, opening to the back as your gaze follows. Curling that right hand in, right elbow in, both arms forward. Dropping your arms down to the side. Inhaling, arms up. We're going to fold over our legs. You can reach down as far as you can reach. You can interlock your elbows to give you a little bit of support for those arms. Let your head hang low. And just relax here, feeling your legs supporting your upper body. Accepting wherever you're at right now. We'll have a few moments today just to check in. And this is a great moment to check in with yourself. How much self-acceptance do you have right now? How much desire to grow and change do you have right now? Which feels like more of a priority for today? We're going to inhale, halfway lift, bringing our arms straight out in front of us. And then exhaling, dropping our arms down again as we slide our fingertips along our legs, rolling our spine back up to a seated position. We're going to do tree pose as our main balancing pose today, where we're going to practice here on a chair before we get to standing. So starting first by crossing your right foot over top of your left foot and placing your hands just down on the side. Just notice what this pose is like for you. Notice when you're supported, how it feels to balance. Uncross your right leg. This time, cross your left leg over top of your right ankle. And again, just breathe and notice. As you begin to balance where there's no risk and there's no trouble and there's no potential of falling, what emotions are arising here? Picking up your left foot to plant it back down right next to your right. You're going to pick up your right foot to bring it over your left ankle. Inhaling your arms up wide like the branches of a tree. Breathe here. And again, ask yourself when you're supported and you're balancing, what emotions arise here? How do you know that those emotions are in your body? Exhaling, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. We're going to exhale, reach over our folded legs, creating a deeper stretch here. My fingertips touch the ground, but again, here's a way to play with that acceptance of where your body is. How far can you reach? Inhaling back up to center, planting that right leg down, this time lifting your left leg to cross over your right knee. Inhaling those arms up, reaching out to the side at about a 45-degree angle, or honestly, wherever your arms want to be. Tree branches go in all sorts of directions depending on the tree. So pick a tree and imagine that your arms are replicating that shape. Exhaling your hands to heart center. Inhaling to lengthen through the crown of your head and exhaling to reach forward over your legs. Mm. And inhaling back up to center as you plant your left leg down. We're going to begin our standing flow. So if you don't have any more of your lunch break today, you can go ahead and get off the call or you can stay on it. Again, our standing flow for today is going to have a lot of repetition, and that's to help you figure out what your body actually wants to be doing. I'll cue for varying types of difficulties with the poses. And you're welcome to choose to stay at whatever level gives you the most love and gives you the most acceptance of where you're at. Or you're also welcome to choose challenge today and to choose that growth, finding the balance between love and growth. We're going to start at the back of our mat today, facing it long ways, inhaling our arms up to the sky, grabbing onto your right wrist with your left hand and gently pulling over to the left side. Inhaling up to center, switching your grip, gently pulling over to the right side. Finding your breath, going back over to the left side, this time dropping your left hand, right arm reaches up and over. And swaying to the opposite side. Listening to which breath wants to go with which movement. Finding your inhale, finding your exhale. Moving back and forth between the left and right side. Inhaling back up to center. You can drop your arms, shake them out. We're going to lift them again one more time. Well, two more times, really. Inhaling up, cactusing out to the side on an exhale. Taking a breath here before crossing your arms in front of you and giving yourself that hug again. Here you can really reflect on the expansion and the self-love, letting the hug represent self-love, letting the cactus arms represent that expansion, finding your own breath. Where do you want to inhale? Where do you want to exhale as you move between these two poses? Meeting somewhere where both of your hands are stretched out in front. We're gonna draw that bow back on the right side, opening, looking over our right shoulder, and curling back in to meet hands in the middle. Opening to the left side, curling back in to have hands meet in the middle. Finding your breath here. And just experimenting. Where does your body want to inhale? Where does your body want to exhale as you flow between these two poses? Meeting your hands back together in the center. This time you can finally let them go, shake them out. We're gonna cross our left foot over top of our right. Inhale up, exhale into a forward fold. Your hands might touch the mat, they might touch your knees. rolling your spine up. We're gonna switch our right leg over top of our left this time. Same thing, inhaling arms up, swan diving down into our forward fold. Notice even though we have both feet on the ground, still a little tricky to balance here. Inhaling, rolling your spine up. Playing with a different stance, bring your toes to the very edge of your mat. They might even be on the outside of your mat, or maybe just your big toe on the inside of your mat. Inhale those arms up, exhale, swan dive forward. Coming into our forward fold again. How did this different place of your feet change your ability to balance? And did your ability to balance change your ability to be present? Stretching your fingertips out in front of you, walking them over as far as they want to go to the left side. Then walking them over as far as they want to go to the right side. Feet are staying in the same spot. Walking them back to center. And again, rolling up through your spine. You can heel toe or just step your feet back together to mountain pose at the back of your mat here. Our first form of tree pose, we're going to shift our weight to the left foot here. We're going to gently tap our right foot up, and we're actually going to keep our right toes on the mat. So just our right heel is lifted up, supported by our left ankle. Go ahead and open your arms wide and low, palms facing the front of the mat. And take a breath here. Throughout today's practice, you can always return to this tree pose. Plant that right foot down. We're gonna swan dive into our forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, lengthening through the crown of the head and the tailbone. Hands on your shins or knees. Exhale back down, and this time bend your legs enough so that your hands can meet the mat. Walk your hands forward. We're coming into our first downward dog of the day. Hips are lifted, pressing in through your feet and your hands. Shoulders pressing down into the mat as you lengthen from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Press up through your shoulders, rounding your upper back as your hips drop. And then your head comes up last, creating a long line between your heels through the crown of your head, coming into plank pose. Exhale to lower down onto the mat. You can drop your knees first if you want. Untuck your toes. Inhale to lift your shoulders and chin up off the mat. Exhale to press up through tabletop. Tuck those toes, come back up into downward dog, lifting those hips to the sky. And using your hands to walk back towards your feet. Rolling up through the spine as you come into standing again. So that's our flow that we're going to repeat. This time on the left side, putting your weight into your right leg. Picking up your left foot, left toes are going to stay on the ground, left ankle or left heel over top of the right ankle. Palms open forward at a low angle. Take a breath here before releasing your foot down to the mat. Folding in half into our forward fold. Inhaling to lengthen through the crown and tailbone. Exhaling, bending your knees, dropping your hands all the way down to the mat as you walk forward. into downward dog. Rounding through your upper back as you drop your hips down, pulling your head up last, straightening through your upper back to create a long line. Exhaling to lower down onto the mat. Untucking your toes, inhaling to cobra. Exhaling through to tabletop. Tucking those toes again, lifting your hips. Coming back into downward dog. Bending your knees to walk your hands closer to your feet. Rolling up through your spine. Coming again into mountain pose. The second variation of balance here to try with tree. We're again going to put our weight first into our left leg, picking up our right foot. This time our toes will come up off the ground. We want to make sure that our foot is not right on top of our knee, but you can choose if you want your foot to be right below your knee or right above your knee. Either way, finding a spot that is good for your body. I'm going to go right below my knee today, I think. This time you're going to bring your hands wide out to the side. Finding the edge of where you can accept yourself and maybe bringing in a little bit of growth if it's what your body wants. Exhaling that foot back down to the mat. Folding into our forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift, hands on knees or shin. Exhaling, bending your knees, hands meeting the mat, walking forward, coming into downward dog. This time from downward dog, you're going to keep your left foot planted on the ground. You're going to inhale your right leg up straight. And again, you can maybe just pick it up a little bit, pick it up as far as it wants to go. Take a breath here. And then plant it back down next to your left foot. Round through your upper shoulders. Coming into plank pose. Maybe dropping your knees, maybe keeping them lifted as you lower down onto the mat. Inhaling through your chest, coming up into cobra. Exhaling back into tabletop. Tucking those toes, coming into downward dog. Bending your knees and using your hands to walk you back up to standing. Switching to the opposite leg. So this time shifting your weight to the right side. Whoops, I'm already losing my balance here. Okay, here we go. Again, picking up your foot so that it's not on your knee, but either just below or just above. Inhaling those arms wide and to the side. Picking your favorite tree to mirror. Finding your balance. And exhale, dropping that foot back down to the mat. Folding into our forward fold. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhaling to fold all the way down. Bending your knees, putting your hands on the mat, walking forward into downward dog. Shoulders drop down towards the mat, hips lifted. Again, lifting your left foot this time, however far it wants to go. Maybe just a foot, maybe all the way up. Finding your balance in three-legged dog. And then dropping that foot back down, rounding through the shoulders, coming into plank pose. Maybe dropping your knees, maybe keeping them lifted. lowering down onto the mat, squeezing your legs together as you lift through the chest for cobra. Exhaling, moving back through tabletop, tucking those toes, lifting those hips into downward dog, and walking your way back up to standing at the top of your mat. You have the option to stay at the first tree pose, the second tree pose, or to try out the third tree pose. This time you're going to shift your weight to the left side. Bring your right foot up as high as it wants to go on your body. You can use your hand to put it in place. You're going to inhale your arms up, reaching at about a 45-degree angle or straight up above your head. Really using your left foot muscles to balance here. Checking in with yourself. How much are you loving yourself? Is that love allowing you to grow? Is it preventing you from growing? Is that desire to grow allowing you to love yourself or preventing you from loving yourself? Finding that balance. And then exhaling, letting everything back down to the mat. Forward fold. Inhale to lengthen through the crown. Exhale, bending your knees, walking forward into our downward dog. This time again, picking up your right leg. You can choose to come into scorpion where your leg goes straight up, bending your right knee, opening through the right side of your hips. It's like three-legged dog, but your leg is bent and your hip is open. Untwisting, planting that foot back down on the ground, rounding through your upper shoulders, coming into plank, lowering yourself down onto the mat. Inhaling for cobra. Exhaling through to tabletop. Tucking those toes, coming into downward dog yet again. Using your hands to walk you back up to standing. And trying again on the opposite side. Each side can be different. So if you stayed at the second pose or the first pose, you might try the third version of tree on this side, shifting your weight to your right leg, bringing that left foot up as high as you can. Inhaling those arms up at a 45-degree angle. This side might look the same, might look different, might feel the same, might feel different from the previous side. Finding your balance. Then releasing everything down to the mat. Coming again into our forward fold. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhaling to walk your hands forward. Downward dog. Lifting your left foot however high it wants to go. Maybe bending that left leg to come into scorpion, opening your hips through the left side. Untwisting to plant that foot back down on the ground. Rounding through your upper back to come into plank pose. Lowering yourself down to the mat. Then up for cobra. Tucking those toes, passing through tabletop. Back up to downward dog. And walking your hands back up to center. That was a lot of instruction. So if your body needs to do something a little unstructured, you can go ahead and do that. I'm just checking the time really quick. We're going to move through some poses in tabletop. So you can come to a tabletop position, which your wrists are below your shoulders, knees below your hips. But just a reminder that you can make this your own practice, make this your own flow. If you want to do some more standing poses or practice balancing, feel free to do that as well. Let's move through a few cat and cow, dropping our belly down, lifting our chin to the sky. Oh, I got a good crack in my back that time. Exhaling, rounding your spine, tucking your chin to your chest. And then coming back to neutral. Option to straighten your right leg and move through cat and cow again. Dropping your belly, raising your chin to the sky. Exhaling, tucking your chin to your chest, rounding through the spine. Coming to neutral. Putting that right knee back down on the mat next to your left. Option to do this again, straightening your left leg. Moving through cow pose. Rounding through cat pose. And dropping that knee back down again. Option again to try to lift your right foot. Right knee is going to stay down. Moving through cat and cow. And putting that top of the right foot back down on the mat as your spine comes to neutral. Leaving your left knee where it is, but lifting that left foot. Moving through cat and cow. And then planting the top of that left foot back down as you come to a neutral spine. A trickier option. Raising your left leg, keeping it at a 90-degree angle, your foot towards the sky, knee is bent. And again, moving through cat and cow, seeing how your spine wants to move and balance here. Dropping that knee back down. Option to try it on the other side, lifting that left foot, your thigh parallel to the ground. Moving through cat and cow. And then planting that left knee back down on the ground. Lifting your right foot again. Right knee is going to stay on the ground. You're going to bring your right hand this time directly below your chest. Lifting up through the left side. Left hand to the sky like we normally do in our twists. Instead of threading the needle and going under, we're going to drop our left hand behind us as if it's reaching towards our right foot. Inhale that left hand back up to the sky. Exhale, replacing it with your right hand directly below your chest on the mat, dropping your right foot down, lifting your left foot, left knee stays on the mat, opening through the right side, right hand to the sky, before dropping that right hand back as if it's reaching towards your left foot. Inhaling back up and releasing everything into our neutral tabletop position. Go ahead and knock your knees together, drop back on your hips, and come into a momentary child's pose. Forehead can rest on the mat, hands reach long in front of you. Just check in with yourself. How has the balancing been today? Option to stay here or to lift back up into tabletop. We're going to slide one of our legs under us. We're going to come into a seated position. Reaching both your legs out in front of you in a pike position. I did gymnastics a lot for a long time when I was little, and they always called this pike. Go ahead and inhale your arms up. Exhale. Reach forward towards those toes. folding your forehead to your knees. Inhaling up, we're gonna tuck our right foot into our left leg. Again, you can do this in any pose like we were doing with trees, so it can be down below your ankle, below your knee, up closer on your thigh. Inhaling your arms up before folding forward, lengthening through the spine as you reach down towards your toes. Inhaling back up to center, switching out those legs and folding forward on the opposite side. Coming back up to center, you can bend in the knees, bring your feet out in front of you. We're going to come into our last balancing. Well, that's not true. I think we'll have one more balancing pose after this. Cosmic egg, we tried last time, but it's one of my favorites. So go ahead and walk your feet as close to you, as close as you can. You can wrap your arms around your knees or just put your hands around your knees and begin to bounce up with those toes so that you're balancing just on your sit bones. For today's variation, we're going to have the option of interlacing your hands around your left knee as you straighten your right leg, lifted about a foot up off the mat in front of you. Woo, when your leg starts to shake, you can bring that right leg back in. Interlace your fingers around your right knee and straighten your left leg out forward. Still balancing. And when your left leg begins to shake, go ahead and bring it back in. Drop those feet down. We're going to come to laying, but not quite on our backs yet for Shavasana. We're going to do a laying tree pose. So you're going to roll over first onto your right side. You can use your hand to support your head as it's lifted. You can have your head supported as it is laying down. Either option works. Straighten your right leg long, or whichever leg is on the ground. Your left leg is going to come in one of those three tree pose positions. So knee towards the sky, left foot on your right ankle, below your right knee, or up above your right knee. Your left hand is going to reach again into one of those three positions. So you can see what it's like to have your arm reaching low, reaching to the middle, or reaching high, balancing on the right side of your body here. My body is a little less stable in this than standing. I notice I rock a little more. All right, releasing your leg, releasing your hand. I'm going to switch directions, but you guys can just roll over to the opposite side. This time coming onto the left side, supporting your head first, reaching your left leg long. Right foot is going to come to your left ankle, below your left knee or just above your left knee. Right hand is going to reach low, wide, or high up above your head for our sideways laying down balancing tree pose. All righty, go ahead and release that and you can finally come to Shavasana after all that balancing today. For Shavasana, the option is to return to our loving kindness meditation, focusing on your heartbeat and your breath, that sensation of the image of your heart expanding and reaching out, and sending that love to things that are easy to love, to the people in your life you naturally, normally love, to strangers, to people it's difficult to love, and to the whole world and even yourself. Of course, you can always choose to let your mind wander or just sit in silence. My voice will guide you out when it is time to come out of Shavasana. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana if that's what your body wants to do right now, or in your own time and in your own way. You can begin to bring some life into your body through gentle, simple movements. Bring some light into your eyes by blinking your eyes open. You can stay laying or find a seated position to thank yourself for today's practice. I had a dream last night that inspired today's practice. It was um, it was about responsibility, and it was about kind of this how much am I allowed to love myself and accept myself as I am, and how much energy and effort should I be putting into responsibility and growth and sort of like bettering myself. And so I wanted to share this practice to help each of you find your own balance between how much you're allowed to love yourself, how much you're allowed to accept yourself exactly how you are, and how much you're allowed to let yourself want to grow and change and strive for something better. Next week, we will be doing another balancing practice. I'm not sure the theme yet, so you have to tune in to find out. But it was lovely to have all of you here today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, enjoy the rest of your workday today, enjoy the rest of your lunch if you're still on your lunch break. And I will see you all next week. Thank you so much.